Hi everybody, we got a tech tip video for you today to show you how to glue the sidewalls of the tires. This is a great handling tip for the sprint car. You don't really need to do this on the midget because the tires are a lot smaller. They don't have as much bite, as much sidewall, that type of thing. But on the sprint car, if you run on a very high traction track like carpet or maybe a painted surface that has some silica put into the paint, this may be a good tuning option for you. Definitely on the carpet if if you've run the car on the carpet before or some sort of carpet track where there's traction, you'll notice the car wants to just kind of tip over on the right front really easy. So this is a great handling feature that you can try, and we're going to show you how to do that today. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to glue the edge of the tire, and this is a tire we've already done here. So you can see the shiny portion right here. It goes down the sidewall just a little ways, and then if you look on the side, the tread of the tire, we just go over the first lug of the tread. You can go a little bit more and you'll probably get a little bit of bleed through when you do it, but this is a great starting point and just kind of gives that edge. It's really smooth. And what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to use really good super glue to do this, because what you want is you want this shiny surface like this here. You don't want anything that's rough, because if it's got any kind of roughness to it, it's basically going to act like more traction. So you want that shiny, nice, smooth, clean surface there to so that it kind of just slides off the the traction of the carpet, just doesn't grab that bite right there. So the way to do this, like I said, you're going to want to use some good super glue. We use the TLR standard super glue. You can get this at any of your local hobby shops. If you don't have a hobby shop near you, you can get it online from a variety of different places. But this stuff works really good. It's got a nice cap on it and stuff. So what you're going to want to do, actually, before we take the lid off, so on the tire, you're only going to want to do the right front, and you're going to want to do the outer edge. So when you do this, you're going to want to make sure that the tire is just, not just so it's not tight, so it rolls nice and free. But get the nut as tight as you can where it'll roll free, because you don't want a lot of play in it, because it just makes it harder to glue it. So when you take the lid off of the super glue, one thing we recommend doing is make sure you take a paper towel and just wipe the tip really good. Just make sure it's nice and clean, because if you have super glue on that, it's going to jump right to the tire and you can just make a mess. And this is something you're going to want to, if you have an old tire, we recommend trying it on an old tire first, because it is a little difficult the first time or two that you do it, but if you have something to practice on, you can get the hang of it. So what we do is we get the super glue. You can watch it kind of come down this tip right here, and once it gets very close to the end, you're going to put it on just kind of right at the edge, and you're just going to rotate the tire around a little bit, and you just want to get a little bit in a few spots, and that's really all you need, because then you're just going to kind of rotate the tire and use the tip of this to kind of smear that around. So we're going to do that, and we'll show you how that works. So you can see it coming out there, and it kind of ran down the tip a little bit, so you can see it kind of going on the tire there, and just get a couple more, and just get it right on that very outer edge there. And there you go. If you get a couple more, and then just go all the way around, and then once you get that, then just rotate the tire around really slowly with the tip just sitting there. You don't need to squeeze any more out, because you probably got plenty on the tire. So you're just going to go around, make sure you kind of go down the sidewall, and then also tip the bottle a little bit so you get the lugs there too. So once you get that all coated like that, just make sure it's nice and smooth, looks nice and smooth. And then you're just going to want to rotate it around, just keep it rotating, and just blow on it really easily. Just put a little bit of air to it. And you don't want to rotate the tire too fast, because if you rotate it too fast, the super glue is going to, spray around. It's going to make just a mess, and it's probably going to get over more of the lugs than you want. So blow on that a few more times. And then the best thing to do is just to take the car and just leave it sitting like this on its side and just let that dry. You can also, if you want to remove the tire, you can do that, but if you do it, make sure that you don't grab the super glue. That's something very common people do, because that's kind of the human nature is just to grab that outside edge. So make sure you grab the back, and if you take it off, then you can just set it aside. But again, you can kind of see how that's just, it's really shiny. really smooth, and that's exactly what you're looking for there. You just want that nice smooth edge. And if you get a little bit, you can see this is kind of run down into a few of the lugs there. You can go back over this a couple times and just kind of smooth that out. Make sure you get it all the way, all the way around the way you want. And if you have a little bit of bleed through, it's not going to hurt it. I mean, the point of this is just to kind of take that edge off the tire, so when you go in the corner, it doesn't want to grab so hard on the carpet or the sticky surface that you're running on. So that's how to glue the tire. One thing when you do this, if you have run these tires, if they're not new, make sure you take like a rag or a paper towel or something to take some water. Make sure you clean this surface really good before you put the glue on. Like I said, if you have run the tires, if they're brand new, you don't really need to do that because the rubber is nice and clean. And then you can glue it. If you have any dirt underneath there, if you don't clean it before, you can get that kind of that sandpapery feel, and that's not what you want. So if you have any questions while you're doing this, hit us up on our support email. And like I said, if you have an old tire, that's the best way to do it. Get some practice at it, because if you haven't done it before, it can get a little bit messy. So just take your time at it. Just do a little bit at a time. And just use really good super glue. Like I said, the TLR stuff that we use, the standard glue, works really, really good. It dries nice. Dries, very, very well. It keeps that nice shiny edge. So thanks for watching, and make sure you keep watching our social media pages for more products and more tech tips to come. Thanks for watching.